Well, one of the things you guys just touched on was that that obviously you're drawing from source material, but season 6 was the first in which you would pass the books. So obviously next season will continue to do that. Can you talk a little bit about that process and you know, working with George to achieve how much of it is his vision versus how much of it that you guys want to do the show?
Yeah, well, you know, some of it is still, it's still ultimately George's imagination that gave us these characters, that gave us this world. And 3 or 4 years ago, we were in Santa Fe talking to George, and he told us about where he was heading with the books, and that's when he told us the Hodor fate and the Hodor, where the name Hodor came from. And I just remember looking at Dan. It's George, it's George's fault. And I remember looking at Dan and just, we were both so amazed and excited because it was so freaking cool. And one of the things that's brilliant about it is that this name, which has become almost a joke, you know, people make jokes about Hodor, and then ultimately you realize where that name comes from, and it's suddenly a tragic turn, and that's so George R.R. Martin. So, you know, hopefully we're still living out the spirit of George's imagination, and even though we're beyond the books, I think one thing that's fun is that George's books will be very different in some respects and the same in others, and I think they'll, hopefully both the series and the books will be surprising to people who are reading or watching or whatever it is. So, Sophie Turner, her fault.
Sorry.